series. Let's see if he can keep this streak alive. It's iNSUPERABLE. And in the bottom left, playing for Fire Scale Esports, sometimes even occasionally Zero Effort. He's from down under. It is SaysO.
Oh yeah,
you like how I paused in between the intros, Neil? I haven't missed a beat. Not a beat have I missed in this thing. Carson, how are you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a while, Rick. How are you?
It's been a minute. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. We got a good Undead Mirror on Concealed Hill. SaysO not playing random this series, which is good. He is actually going to play his main race. His random has been looking really good. Played that in the closed qualifier. But going against iNSUP, maybe he thinks, I don't want to take a chance and get a race that maybe I'm not uncomfortable with. Obviously, iNSUP is super, super good against everything. And two very different styles here, Carson.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about. The mirror matchups are not really true mirrors. You know, we're going to see a Criplord from SaysO. We're going to see a Death Knight from iNSUPERABLE. And there's a couple of styles you can do as the Death Knight player here. We've seen the Dark Ranger second, a lot of pressure on the expansion attempt of the Criplord player. But pretty much right now, we got to scout. We got to see what heroes we're going, and then we'll see how iNSUP reacts. I do think generally you're supposed to go for some harassment as the Death Knight player here, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah, it's been really weird that SaysO, like, he's been randoming a lot, and he's one of the best in, like, I guess the region, like the Americas region, at the Dreadlord expansion, Criplord expansion, any expansion play, really. So I'm glad that he's doing that right now. It's obviously going to be a Criplord expansion. And opening Ted Fiends for iNSUP, it's going to come down to scouting. He sees the Acolyte now, and the Acolyte is actually not scouting the creeping for iNSUP. So the fact that he's bringing that Acolyte back, iNSUP knows right away, and he's going straight to the expansion. Why are you keeping that Acolyte alive, bro? You must be needing it for something later.
Yep, and the Death Knight's going to come over here, try to steal some of these turtles. If he can keep the Criplord on level 1. He actually stole the creep with an Acolyte. The first little turtle, he's going to coil steal the next one. This is going splendidly for iNSUP so far. That's pretty crazy. And he could even go for a last hit potential on this big boy. He does get it. He gets all 3 creeps, Ricky. What the hell is going on with iNSUP today, man? The practice is paying off.
The risk was huge here, going straight across the map. If you risk the fact of missing the creep camp, they'll let the Criplord get all the experience and the expo timing. iNSUP basically comes across the map, steals everything, essentially drinks his milkshake. Yeah. And now SaysO needs to get iNSUP out of his face. This is huge start of the game for iNSUP. Incredible.
Yeah, that was only 1 coil invested too. Like sometimes, you know, you creep a little green camp, the undead steals, 2 creeps away from it. You're like, okay, their mana is low, but he used 1 coil and got all 3 creeps there. And now he's in SaysO's face. He's got 3 skeletons. A 4th one is scouting if the Criplord were to go up and try to play some sort of a 1 base, but it's not going to be 1 base. It's going to be an expansion attempt, and iNSUP's already here with almost full mana on this Death Knight.
Yeah, and SaysO has no choice. He has to go for it. He has no experience. He has to go for this expansion. And iNSUP's right here. He puts the Ziggurat down, but I mean, iNSUP could even cancel this if he wants. He's killing ghouls, which is really good. That's going to be his level 2, which he does get. He has the Unholy Aura now. And the 2 big camps still are up for grabs. The Null Overseer and the Warden. He might give the Warden to the Criplord, but there's no way that iNSUP gives this Overseer up.
He cancels the Zig with the help of that first Crit Fiend coming in, and now the HP is ticking down. He needs to get below 100, and he gets it, and he gets the item Ring of Regeneration, and that's a nice one for the Death Knight. There is a backpack as well on this Fiend, bringing another Rod of Necromancy in, so 3 more charges and a fresh summon of Skeletons. He's trying to block the Ghoul, not going to quite get it, but I think the damage has been done. Where's the second Fiend? It is on the way over, and this could be another cancel on the Ziggurat, a cancel on the Gold Mine. All iNSUP has to do is prevent surrounds of these beetles, and he's in a tremendous position right now.
Yeah, and we noticed that before this event, we saw Hitman playing Netties as Orc, obviously. iNSUP playing a lot of Netties as well. The practice is definitely paying off, like you said. This is one of the greatest early games on Concealed Hill I think you can do in Undead Mirror at this point. Everything has been pretty good. The DK has no damage taken, and that's also due to that Ring of Regeneration, which he was able to steal. A great item for continuing to put on pressure at this point. This is just phenomenal play from iNSUP. And when you're SaysO, yeah, you're going to have the Nerubian up. The expansion is going up, which is fine. But, I mean, Ted Fiends, iNSUP's about to have tier 2. And like you said, does he go for that Dark Ranger and continue to push? Or what's the best game plan, do you think, at this point?
I think he could keep the pressure up. The gold mine's just now getting up. He could race to that tier 3, get the Dark Ranger, then get his orb eventually. He's going to start stealing a couple of camps away from the Crypt Lord. I don't think this is a bad idea either. He's getting close to level 3, but right now, SaysO definitely needs to get his own level 2 to get that Impale. And once you have the Impale, you can threaten some more surrounds, you can do some more damage. And he's creeping with the beetles and skeletons on one side while going to iNSUP's base. And if iNSUP goes straight to tier 3, this might be a decent harassment on the Acolytes. Might be a forced cancel tech. And there's a Dark Ranger for iNSUP.
Yeah, interesting that SaysO wouldn't bring the beetles. I mean, he's going to have level 2, he's going to bring them now, but you probably wanted them in this initial push. Maybe you can creep iNSUP's green. It's a lot closer to the push that you're trying to do, but SaysO's here at the main base anyway. Halls of the Dead providing a little bit of slow on some of the ghouls, and iNSUP's actually holding this with 3 ghouls right now. And while he's harassing the expansion of SaysO, but there's 2 Nerubians up. This is going to be hard to push, but this is the Dark Ranger push that you talked about, and this is very strong, and SaysO needs to respect this.
Yeah, he's going to kill all 5 Acolytes, and then he can even just Town Portal home after, and the damage will have been done. He's not teching, so he can replace the Acolytes he's losing at home, and he's going to shut down this expansion. And is SaysO teching? SaysO's still not yet teching because he doesn't have a Necropolis as expansion. He needs to keep it on tier 1 to replace these Acolytes. And this is going very well, and the HHGG is called for SaysO, and that was just a clinic from iNSUP. Incredible.
That was actually insane domination from iNSUP in game number 1. And I mean, this is a best of 3, and geez, that was something else.
I am muted, really?
Oh, no.
Whoopsie. Sorry about that. Yeah, my early game almost as good as that of SaysO. iNSUP, man. Crazy performance, full throttle, no mercy. That was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about maybe the Crypt Lord. We see a lot of players deviating away from that, going back to the standard Ted Fiends. They're saying, you know, Crypt Lord's not very good anymore with the patches. Not crazy changes have been made, but I feel like the Crypt Lord's been starting to get figured out. I mean, that was about as standard a build that iNSUP could do. Ted Fiends, very standard, very across the board normal, and he made it look dominating against the, you know, Crypt Lord expand, which if you let that get out of hand, it's like the meta of like you're just going to steamroll your opponent. And iNSUP just played amazing there. Unbelievable.
Yeah, in the lobby, iNSUP said, oh, I'm actually a little nervous about that. Not gonna lie, but man, this didn't show one bit. Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, that was textbook counter to the Crypt Lord. Those last hits, though, like, if you keep the Crypt Lord on level 1 for that long, there's really nothing you can do to stop them from delaying your expansion just constantly. And that was, those last hits really is what won him the game so early. I think he still is looking strong enough to probably have won in the late game still if he continues that sort of a performance. But those last hits really sealed the deal.
All right, guys, we give SaysO some time to recover here, going into a little break, and then we'll see if iNSUP is closing this out 2-0, or will we go for another game 3 here on Friday. See you in a bit. Map 2, ladies and gentlemen, INSUP versus SaysO continues. This day in Europe, you know, we had long series lasting way longer than 1 hour. This could bring us back to schedule right here if INSUP does the 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, all he needs is an Acolyte last hit, then a Skeleton last hit, and he'll be good to go.
Northern Isles, just send your DK straight across, meet him at the green. I don't know. This is going to be very interesting. INSUP's looking good, though. I mean, he's one of the hard rank 3 players, right? So you can't be having troubles with the rank 5, 6, 7 if you want to prove that you're dominant. So INSUP's just playing really clean right now. Really clean.
Right then we load in. You spoiled it already. It is Northern Isles. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I mean, Northern Isles is one of my favorite maps. I love this map. I love it in every matchup as an undead player. So it's no guff that they have it in the map pool. And let's start with the introductions. Carson, you want to do it this time?
Oh yeah, baby. Spotting in the top right of Northern Isles, we have the Canadian machine, the Frenchman. It's INSUPERABLE. And spotting in the bottom left, we have the yellow undead from down under, as you pointed out, the New Zealandese player. It's SaysO. What do you think about that, New Zealandese? You like that?
I do like that, yeah.
New Zealanders.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that as much as what we're seeing in this game right now, Carson, which looks like an exact mirror from INSUP, an exact mirror from SaysO. Let's go. SaysO goes, you know what, I'm just going to do it again. And we actually saw a little bit of tilt from him in the lobby. Was it tilt? A little bit of baby rage? What was that, Carson? He said, I shouldn't have played undead. I just picked my map. He's, you know.
Did he say that? I missed it.
Yeah, in the lobby he said, well, you saw the one where he said, I shouldn't, I just picked my map. And then right before the game started, he goes, I shouldn't have played undead.
I mean, anyone would be frustrated after that last game. I mean, you get everything last hit. You're not supposed to let the Acolyte get the last hit. Sometimes it happens, though. It happens to the best of them. We saw it happen to Blade when he played Happy, and then he just left the game immediately when we did that tournament a couple weeks ago. But right now, like, Northern Isles is a much better map for Crippler than Concealed Hill. The expansion's easier to creep. We'll just have to see what's the first camp he's going to go for. Is he going to go for the green? Is he going to go for the Tuskar? The Tuskar would probably be a risky camp. Will he go for the expansion first? There's a few options for what you creep as SaysO, but the real question is how much damage is INSUP going to do?
And INSUP's going to come with his second rod to use on the Skelly, so he's going to come here with 4 Skellies. And the Acolyte sees that the army's coming up, and now INSUP a little hesitant. He goes, what are you going to creep out first? He's coming across with all these ghouls. No beetles yet, because he actually INSUP stole them with these 2 extra Skellies, but he's doing a lot of pressure. What is the game plan for SaysO? He's just going straight across the map.
He's just going for it. One thing that INSUP has done really nicely, I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but now all the critters along the way are gone, so there's no beetles for the Crypt Lord to summon. He can go to the graveyard. There's now 1 corpse at the graveyard, and INSUP's not in position to steal it, but the critters along the way he would have liked to get to. He couldn't do it. And there's already a tower. There's a second tower being upgraded. He's ready. INSUP's totally ready.
And he actually uses the Skelly Rod instead of the Beetles. I'm not sure which one the better option is, or maybe the Beetles, but yeah, he uses the Skelly Rod, and INSUP's home now, and INSUP's fine with this because he went across the map to take a risk and to try to do the same damage he did last game. But I mean, okay, you're back in my territory. I mean, I could just creep my greens at this point. You're far away from your expansion. I know you have a Blight Skull though, so maybe INSUP just stays onto the Crypt Lord and just continues the game plan from here, except this time he's going to have 2 Fiends instead of just a solo DK and some Skellies. I don't know if this is the right decision from SaysO.
Yeah, he kind of got called out, but he knew that INSUP was just straight harassing last game after he scouted the Crypt Lord. But SaysO's reaction is decent. He's getting a graveyard. He is teching to tier 2, so he does have a little bit of a tech advantage because he forced INSUP to 1, not tech because he might have lost Acolytes, and 2, build 2 towers back at home. So he got a little bit of an advantage from that pressure, but they're still both on level 1, and this definitely favors the Death Knight player.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that INSUP actually built that extra Spirit Tower too. So yeah, that's a pretty heavy investment, like you said. But he's still got a lot of units. He's got the 2 Fiends, a 3rd one still on the way. Yeah, his tech's going to be a little bit behind, but I don't think SaysO gets any creeping done. INSUP might just end up creeping SaysO's own green camps, as well as maybe even his expansion. Who knows? INSUP, I don't see INSUP leaving from this position.
Yeah, he's got no reason to, right? And, you know, anytime SaysO creeps anything, there's a full mana on the Death Knight. He can Coil Steal. There's no Impale to threaten any sort of a surround at the moment. And, you know, once the tech comes out, once the Lich comes out for INSUP, he can start to creep a little bit more aggressively, maybe go for that shop, that marketplace. But SaysO's doing what he can. He got one green camp, and now he's splitting some ghouls to creep this southern green camp as well. And that will be close to level 2. Yeah, it will be level 2 for that Crypt Lord.
Level 2 means Impale, and I mean, you got a lot of units around right now for SaysO. An Impale surround could be pretty annoying for INSUP. He's got no aura, he's only got level 1 coil. I mean, he's got max coils, but not too many units here from SaysO. They're all actually creeping for that level 2, which he will get right now. What item is there? Circle of Notability, which I'm sure SaysO will go back and grab, but yeah, I mean, look at the position now. SaysO's pumping Fiends, he's tier 2 right now, just kicked in, level 2. Not looking too bad. How does INSUP now? I feel like INSUP's on the back foot to make a decision.
Yeah, there's a couple of green camps left. Well, this one and then a couple back on INSUP side. So he can fall back with these 3 Fiends and start creeping. But the thing is, once he does that, SaysO has all the opportunity in the world to creep his own expansion. This could be potentially a tier 2 expo if SaysO wants to go for that. A little bit short on lumber at the moment, but the real question is right now, is he going to get this creep camp uncontested? It doesn't look like it.
Ooh, INSUP's got the ward as well. Could he get the? He couldn't get the ogre. He's not going to get the item, but he might be able to steal some other experience. And this is very crucial. This could be level 2 on his DK. All these beetles might go down too. The really low ghoul too. So SaysO's got to get out of here. INSUP's got 4 Fiends, man. This is not a non-threatening attack. This is pretty big. I mean, INSUP could potentially like win the game here if he's trading really well.
There's level 2. There's the Impale. This could be a threatened surround. You were talking about not a lot of units there before, but now there's enough, and he's going to get 1 Fiend, and he's going to force the Death Knight back. The Death Knight has a couple of coils, so he could potentially still fight a little bit, but with that threatened Impale surround, he's almost got enough mana for another one in the tank on that Crypt Lord. INSUP's got to go back.
DK comes out for SaysO, and that was the play he needed to do. He needed to get INSUP out of his face. 4 Fiends, very scary, but like you said, get that Impale surround on the 1 Fiend. There's nothing that INSUP can do about it. That's a dead Fiend. And now you got tier 2, you got the DK out, you got your Slaughterhouse going, tier 3 tech, which is later than INSUP's now, just because Ted Fiends, it just allows you to quick tech right away. Lich coming out for INSUP as well. If you're INSUP, I think you need your level 3. Just get your level 3, then you can really focus on fighting, because that Impale and that Crypt Lord is just really threatening right now.
Yeah, these wards getting a lot of value. He's got one skin in the expansion and another one at the tavern, so he's going to see SaysO trying to creep this shop and going to creepjack him here. The item has not been taken yet. A couple of the smaller creeps have been crept, and the invuln potion is up for grabs for whoever wants to get it. But right now, INSUP seems to have the bigger Fiend count, so maybe with that he can win this fight. The Lich is also here now as well, so that's going to be a big boost to this fight.
Yeah, and even though INSUP doesn't have level 3 on his DK, I think he definitely wants to take a fight with the Nova. We'll see. He definitely doesn't want to give up this Knoll, so both players are just going to be contesting really back and forth. Looks like INSUP's going to get that experience and the item. Sharing the XP with the Lich is okay at this point. You're not going to get your level 3, obviously, but it's still fine because you can take a fight. Scourge Bone Chime is probably one of the worst items you could ever get. Maybe he'll keep that for his Death Knight, Carson.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of healing, not too bad. Maybe you just tank this whole marketplace. Well, you know, you got that life steal.
Go into double Slaughterhouse A-bombs at this point just because of one item.
Yeah, why not, man? I mean, it's probably better than just selling it for the 200 gold. The weird play from SaysO. He's getting into Rubian. He got into Necropolis at this expansion. He was so low on wood for a really long time that he hasn't been able to build the expansion. So this is just sort of a sunk cost at the moment, although that is his 50 supply Ziggurat, so not too much invested. But I'm wondering when he's going to build that expansion.
He's definitely got the lumber for it, and he's using gold for double statues at a time. Probably could have put the expansion up and then grabbed that statue during the normal cooldown of gold, but I guess that's fine. There you go. There goes the mine. A little delayed, but not, I don't know. If INSUP doesn't scout it, I mean, it's all right. Obviously, it's going to put him ahead if they're both going Fiends. But we're still in this position. Level 2 for SaysO, level 3 for INSUP. INSUP should be wanting to take a fight. He's definitely going to try to steal this Furbog. Really good item. He actually pulls it pretty far. Is he just giving up on it? Okay, he's just going to give up on it. Finish up the marketplace. What items are there? Claws +9. Carson, do you buy it? I would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think you stack up this Lich if you want to. There's a level 2 that's going to help out the damage a little bit. And the Mana Stone, of course, gotten earlier from the marketplace, is going to help out quite a bit. The ward was at the expansion of SaysO for a little bit. I think INSUP did see the mine being built, so he knows the timing. He knows the clock ticking in his head. He's got his orb. He's got his Dark Ranger. And he's probably going to creep up to Lich level 3, and then I imagine he'll try to push the expansion.
Yeah, interesting here. SaysO's actually going into Ghoul Frenzy, and he's got some 7-odd ghouls. So this could be an interesting push. Obviously, Ghoul Frenzy against the Fiend's very good if you can get like right on top of them with the Impale. So this is probably going to be one of those plays where he really relies on the Crypt Lord, go for an Impale, swarm iNSUPE's army, and try to get on top of it. But at this point, I think iNSUPE's going to have Destroyer form. He's going to be able to eat the beetles if there are any in the fight. So this is going to be an interesting fight. It could go both ways. It's really going to depend on how SaysO wants to take this fight. It looks like iNSUPE's already morphing Destros and going to eat a bunch of these beetles, which is early damage. And then with the Orb of Annihilation, you can just take down these beetles really quickly if iNSUPE wants to take a fight. And I think he wants to do it. I think he wants to take this fight right away.
Yeah, here comes the Frenzy Ghouls, and these are going to help a lot with that Impale and the Ghouls getting on those Fiends. Like you said, there's a Nerubian Tower up at the expansion that's going to help a ton in this fight, but there's already one Destroyer, and the Beetles aren't looking too scary anymore, and there's no Death Knight level 3 for SaysO yet, but the Dark Ranger is going to help out, and the Ghouls can't really get into range, especially with this Black Arrow from the Dark Ranger, and the statue's out of position is going to die immediately, and SaysO's got to go. He's got to go now or never.
Oh man, iNSUPE being so patient with this. The Crypt Lord comes in, and there's the first silence, just waiting. iNSUPE's just eyeballing that Crypt Lord like crazy, and there's the silence on the Crypt Lord. Gonna be no swarm attack, and SaysO's got to back off right now. And look at SaysO can't actually engage. He's trying to get that impalance around, but the silences are really good. Where's the second one? Probably coming in as soon as the ghouls come in. We're probably gonna see silence on that Crypt Lord right away. But look at this, iNSUPE kiting this beautifully.
Yeah, a lot of coils invested into that Destroyer, and the Lich is actually going to go down. A really nice silence, not Black Arrow on that Dark Ranger, of course. The silence getting a lot more value, and the Ghouls getting no value at all. They've barely even gotten attacks off. As soon as they come into range, they just die, and the Destroyer is saved yet again. The Mana Stone gets popped, and now this is just looking tremendous yet again for iNSUPE. He might lose his first unit, but there's been a lot more losses for SaysO so far.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as the ghouls come in, just the silences on the Crypt Lord, just absolute money. No more silences left on the Dark Ranger, and obviously the statues are morphed into Destroyers, so not going to be any mana regeneration. But I think that's okay for iNSUPE. I mean, he's traded so well. Here comes the Reinforced Fiend, and there's just too much damage at this point with that Orb. iNSUPE's just doing really well. Crypt Lord taking a lot of damage. There goes the coil. Ghouls trying to come in right now with the Nova, which is really good.
Yeah, nice Impale there, and the Ghouls are getting a little bit of damage off. There is one more Impale, and the Death Knight has some coils left to maybe save that Crypt Lord if he gets out of position. Nice Impale, but nicer coil to save that Fiend, and iNSUPE's still really yet to lose much at all in this fight. Here's the Lich, here's the Orb, that's going to help out SaysO, but the Death Knight gets Nova'd, and is going to go down, and just when the Lich arrives, just when SaysO maybe can hold this push, the Death Knight falls, and now looks like the Lich is next on the menu for iNSUPE. He's going to block it, a really nice block, and the Orb and Fiend shots, probably going to be able to take this Lich down.
No Nova for iNSUPE. Can he chase it down anyway? He's at the shop. Does he buy HP pot right away? Probably going to. Yeah, he does. Yeah, iNSUPE's just all over this, man. And then I think there was a position there where SaysO, if he kept that DK alive, maybe the reinforcing Fiends and the Lich coming in with the Orb could have made a difference. But right now, losing 1 Fiend, 2 Fiend, 3 Fiend, floor, I think this is going to be a very quick series.
Yeah, eating a skeleton at the end for iNSUPE. He's almost got the mana for a Nova. Now he has one, and with that, the Lich of SaysO can't really meet up with the army of the Crypt Lord, and the army isn't even looking like much. 2 statues, a Fiend, a couple of Beetles. There is no Destroyer in the air at the moment. SaysO did a nice job of focusing those down, but there's a statue that can be morphed if the Beetles get out of hand, and the army's still divided, and the Fiends are falling one after the next.
Yeah, another Fiend, and at this point, I mean, does your Expo even pay off? You're just not trading efficiently. The Fiends are very expensive. 215 a pop. That's a lot of coin. That's a lot of cheese. Another Fiend going down. Oh man, SaysO's just not trading well. 1 Fiend might go down for iNSUPE, but the coil comes in. iNSUPE has only lost 1 Destroyer this game, Carson.
Yeah, and this is 56 supply, 1-0 Fiends right now. The Lich trying to come in, trying to get those Orb hits off. The Death Knight is back out of the altar, but only has 1 coil in the tank. The Crypt Lord has an Impale. Could be a nice one, and it is a nice one. But where's the follow-up damage? Where's the Nova? The Lich might fall for SaysO. Is there a coil? No, there wasn't a coil, and there falls the 3rd hero yet again, and the Fiends are falling one after the next as well. The Beetles, not scary at all.
I think when you have a 3rd hero that's the same level as your opponent's 1st hero, yeah, it spells that you're probably playing pretty good at this game. Acolyte's not even mining for SaysO. They're actually trying to repair, but nothing to repair right now. Nova comes in. This Lich can just pick off these Acolytes. This is supposed to be your mining. This is supposed to be your expansion. Fiends +1 attack on these Fiends for iNSUPE as well.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. And the Skeletons from that Dark Ranger level 3 are going to deal with the remaining Acolytes. And What was once a happy home is now a dead gold mine, and the Ziggurat goes down. GG is called, and that's a swift 2-0 for INSUP there.
Yeah, very swift 2-0 from an opponent like SaysO, who in Undead Mirror, I mean, that's really good. It's especially